Spent about 20 hours doing the body work, filling all of the little imperfections in the body and the weld joints where we welded the new panels on. Everything went pretty well. Of course, I'm not a professional, so it took me a little longer than normal. But we were able today to go ahead and paint the back half of the car. And before you give me criticism on not painting the doors and the hood, one of the important things for me was I didn't want the doors to come in contact with other things in the garage, so I've left those for another time. And the hood still needs a considerable amount of work. So I'll be doing that later this summer. So then we began to install the fuel tank. Bought a new fuel tank online. Obviously, this particular tank came from Canada, and it installed wonderfully. It just matched up perfectly with the body, and all the new gaskets and nuts and everything that came with it, and new sending unit. Then I began to work on the wiring harness. I pulled the old wire harness out that came with the car. It was in fairly good conditions. You can get new ends and connecting pieces from some of the online retailers like Moss Motors, and so for about $20 I'm able to rebuild the whole wire harness with new ends, new connectors, and it'll be just as good as a new wire harness in the end. So we pulled the windshield out, and it was in pretty rough condition. Most of the aluminum was pitted, so we had to wet sand a lot of the pits out as much as we could, and then buff the aluminum and remove some of the paint that people had applied earlier. Tried to install the windshield myself. It wasn't going the way I wanted it to, and since I don't have good history with installing windshields, so I decided to take it to a professional, and for $30, Superior Paint and Glass in Caldwell installed it for me into the frame. And then we installed it on the top of the car, and it's just looking wonderful now. The car actually looks like a car. When moving forward, we'll be continuing with the wire harness and putting in the blower motor and the heater and the battery, and hopefully get this thing running in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll paint the doors, and then the last thing we'll be working on is the hood of the car.